Hey, this is Roger Thunder speaking from the heart again. I thought I'd do a video today on the topics of cutting and running and time warp and relationship separation. Okay. Now, the first thing that I want to touch on is the cutting and running part. Cutting and running meaning wanting to get the hell out of Dodge, wanting to get somewhere else, wanting to go to another geographical location that you think suits you or might be better for you. Um, that would be one aspect of it. Going to a place that brings back better memories or whatever. Cutting and running out of your geographical location into another. All right. This is the vibe that is kind of permeating the planet right now, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Another one is time warp. Seems like things are in a time warp. Uh, Things keep repeating themselves. Weird phenomena happens. Strange things like books falling off bookshelves around your house or something of that nature. Okay, just something that is not explainable. Let's put it that way. Not really. So you got that. You got the cutting and running, and you got the time warp, and you got the relationship separation thing. Okay, and this could be any kind of relationship, any kind of relationship. Cutting and running, a splitting up of that type thing. All right. So all these things are a vibe or a vibratory frequency, right, that is with us in this realm, this third dimensional reality we live in. Where is this stuff coming from, you might say? Well, it doesn't really matter where it's coming from. I mean, it could be coming from a number of sources, let's put it that way. It could be coming from a number of sources. But the main source that I'm feeling that it might be coming from is a technological source, all right? A technological, high-tech AI source. And this would involve the manipulation of your reality, you see. That's why you have the time warp phenomena involved here. You have a time warp phenomena. Now this energy that is kind of permeating the earth, I shouldn't say kinda, it's like so thick you could cut it with a knife, is out to divide, okay? It's out to make people not unified in purpose, all right? And if your purpose is of a higher purpose or a shamanistic purpose, or let's say a heart purpose, coming from the heart, coming from truth, coming from uh, higher levels of consciousness, if that if that is where you're coming from, there is an all-out effort to divide. It's the old divide and conquer thing I've talked about for ages. But the intensity right now is making people want to cut and run, or think that they're in a time warp, or feel like they're in a time warp, or try to cling to the past, try to cling to the past in some way, shape, or form, and or to try to go to quote unquote home, or to try to again get to a place that feels more comfortable for them. Now, if this in fact is a technological thing, and let's remember, if it's a technological thing, it's being orchestrated and controlled by a higher source, a higher level of, maybe I shouldn't say higher, maybe I should say lower source. I think that would be a better way to just truthfully. A higher source to me is something good. A lower source is something bad, all right? It's something in the duality that is a negative. So, wherever it's coming from, there is a shift happening. And I would say right now that we're going through a major shapeshift in the cosmos. Well, maybe not in the cosmos so much as the solar system. Because the events that surround us right now indicate a disintegration, okay? A disintegration of certain things. This disintegration is a disintegration of morality, and it's a disintegration of social norms, and it's a disintegration of all that is quote unquote held dear. History, a lot of different things, okay? So we have a disintegration going on here. Okay, now this disintegration could be best described in almost like a shape shift. Coming from a Native American or a Native perspective, it would be a shape shift of the planet. Now you've heard about shapeshifters in tribal tradition, okay, and that's not such a good thing. It's not such a good thing. Let's just put it that way. For the most part, shape-shifting can be very devious. So we are going through a shape-shift of sorts here on the planet, all right? And it's going to affect everything we see, everything we do, and it's going to affect relationships, and it's going to affect the time warp thing. We're going to, you know, we're wondering what the hell's going on. Okay, so phenomena can happen with this, and that phenomenon is seeing things differently. Okay, now those that are on a higher level of consciousness see with the third eye. Okay, and so it's readily available as that there's some kind of dimensional shift or emergence, as the Hopi people, my dear brothers, my dear Hopi brothers and sisters say, emergence from one world into the next, and that's exactly what's happening right now. All right, this on that level, on the indigenous level, you could say that we are emerging right now from one vibrational frequency to another vibrational frequency or another world. I won't say a new world, but I'll say another world, all right, or another dimension or another reality, all right. And if you're not strong and if you're not centered, okay, and if you're not grounded, and if you're not, you have to have one foot in the physical world and grounded to Mother Earth, and one foot in the spiritual world grounded to Grandfather Sky. You have to obtain a balance, okay? And everything that is occurring right now is trying to disrupt that balance or that interaction or that yoga or union between those elements in yourself, all right? Those spirits or those elements in yourself. So you have to connect, you have to ground, you have to align, you have to renew, all right? You have to be in a state of mind of renewal. Rebirth would be a good way. So you could say it is a shape-shifting and a rebirthing all at the same time, which can be pretty intense. I've talked about, now, yeah, let me further say that on the paranormal thing, where I forget about it, you could go outside your house and look at your house, and if you're highly attuned, the house is different. Isn't the same place. The molecular structure of the solar system and the ether is actually changing form. But most people won't realize that because they're so dumbfounded and they're so in their ruts. Ruts will be broken. Ruts will be broken, and you know. So if you're in a rut, eventually it will be broken one way or another. But people are in ruts and don't notice these changes that are they are so non-attuned to the higher reality, to the higher consciousness, that they wouldn't know the difference almost. But those of us that are empaths and wisdom keepers look at the big picture and see things for what it really is, all right? You can see the whole big picture. Now, this ain't always a pretty picture for us that are empaths and wisdom keepers and that type of thing, because it's a lonely world. You know, relatively speaking, I mean, it's a world where when you see certain things happening, then you're kind of one of a small number of people or a minority of people, let's say, all right? Now, something happened to me today that just confirms. I keep getting confirmation after confirmation after confirmation about things that they control that we don't think they control. For instance, I was sitting at the desk. Well, no, actually, I wasn't sitting at the desk. I had the computer on, and I was walking around listening to this particular broadcast, or if you want to call it that, or particular video on somebody talking truth, let's say, truth, or closer to the truth than you might. You'll never get the truth from any kind of media, but you might get it from me. But when when you're listening to something that you consider as, oh yeah, well that's going in the right direction. Well, anyway, long story short, the video completely changed. As I was walking around, it went to another video, which was deep state, which was deep state controlled media, let's say. KPBS, Democracy Now, all that good shit. Jump right to that. And I'm like, wait a minute. First the video went off and it was blank, and then boom, that comes on, another video. I was nowhere near the computer, so I didn't touch it at all. It was just playing. So I went back and I said, what's going on here? And I went back and I put it on the previous video instead of the one they switched me to, and started over. And I thought, well, I'll put it in a different place. Maybe it was some kind of fluke or something. So I started the video in a different place. Sat there for about 2-3 minutes, and boom, over to this other video it went again. I am not kidding you when I tell you this, all right? So what they're doing is now instead of causing streaming problems or something with a video, they'll knock you right over to a video that is propaganda and that they want you to listen to instead of the one you're listening to. This is what they're doing. This is exactly what they're doing. So that's just to make the point of what the possibilities are on the technological level, okay? Now you're not going to see, you have not seen anything like this in your lifetime. This is a phenomenon that is produced by the technology of today in this civilization. Okay, now I'm not saying that there weren't other civilizations like Atlantis and things of that nature that fell for the very same reason, that were actually submerged into the ocean, all right, for the very, blown up for the very same reason, all right. But I'm talking about this technology, let's say since the end of the 1800s into the 1900s until now. You have not seen anything like this in your lifetime, or previous lifetimes, or your parents' lifetime, for that matter, because nothing like this has happened. The technology has advanced so far that there is a web, okay, a kind of virtual web around the planet of electronic radio beams and microwaves. And now you have the 5G towers, which are coinciding with that web. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I mean, if you look up, on the computer, if you look up where the 5G towers are located, you'll see that there probably isn't 10, 20 miles between each one now. They're all over the place. And if you think that you're going to run to a different geographical location to get away from the 5G towers or to get away from the web, the Hopis speak of this web. They speak of the web that will surround the earth, and people thought it was highways and trains and stuff like that. Now it's much farther than that, brother. It's telecommunications is what it is, all right? And the 5G frequencies have been known to drive people absolutely batshit crazy if you live near them. Cause all kinds of problems on all levels. And they're everywhere. This moved in insidiously, seeped its way into the social structure or the civilizations in America, okay? And everywhere around the world. England, everywhere. People found out they were up in England at times and tore them down, burned them, did everything. But it's everywhere now. This is how they work. This is how they work. So if you think that you're going to go run somewhere out geographically and escape this stuff, the only way you can escape it is to go within, all right? The only way that you can escape this stuff is to center and to ground yourself again. You can do that with a copper rod in the ground, which I have. Amazing what that will do. I mean, stand there a while and hold on to that thing, and all of a sudden, boom, you start seeing different things. You can wear copper as well, as a friend told me, and that's true as well. You can wear copper, and you can do certain things to protect yourself against this, all right? This is not tinfoil hat shit, okay? This is not out there shit. I'm not even going to talk about, all the other stuff that's going on all kinds of different levels. I'm just talking about what you can feel and what you can see and around you that's happening. So what do we have here? We have the cut and run. We have the time warp. We have the people being so anxiety ridden that there's separations in relationships. Now let me talk about two things here, and this could go either way. This has like two meanings. I'm just seeing things for what they are. Okay, so let's say there's two people together that are unified, and they're on a on a level, a team level, a unity level, where two or more gathered spirit level, a creation level, a mutual supportive level. They will try to interrupt in that relationship. They will try to divide by outside sources and by all kinds of different sources, your own insecurities. They will try to divide those people when they know that those people might be good for one another, a team against the darkness, all right? There's that concept, which is very valid, okay? But there's another situation, too, when there's a division in relationships, and that is because there's two forces working here, all right? There's the dark force that wants to separate unity, and then there's the light force that wants to take people apart or separate people because one person is just not on, it isn't a team. It's one person might be very high advanced on a frequency level and an enlightenment level, and the other person just doesn't get it, just doesn't get it, or can't grasp the unifying nature, something in that area. Well, that's also gonna, there's also gonna be a split there, all right? But whichever way it happens, whether you look at it from the side of darkness splitting up unity, or light splitting up uh, a, let's say, a non-productive, non-advancement, non-spiritual advancement level for one of the people, that could happen too. And it only might happen for a while. People might split up and realize certain things and get back together again, or they may never get back together again. All right? Whatever it is, you have to remain grounded and solid and unified within. All right? So these are some things that are going on the planet right now. All right? These are some things. I know I keep saying all right, but it's not all right, is it? Not in a lot of ways. I don't want to get repetitive here. So anyway, I thought I would put that thought out there, those thoughts out there. Here's some other thoughts. I'm a wisdom counselor, and I'm here to help people unify and understand some of this stuff. And when I talk on the phone, I can hook up with your energy, and I can determine certain things just from that, and channel some good energy to you, and channel some healing energy, and cause a healing to take place. So if you're interested in doing that, I would be more than happy. Now, I charge $100, all right, but if people are hurting, and everybody's hurting, I guess, well then, I'm on a sliding scale here. I can work with that. I can work with that. Don't be shy to speak to me on the phone. And my purpose is not about money. I need money to exist in this third dimension. Okay. But that's that's not my main purpose. My main purpose is to help others. And in helping others, I help myself, and things just flow, don't they? Things just flow. So keep that in mind, Never underestimate the power of talking on the phone and hooking up on an energy level on that, in that regard. Never underestimate that, all right? A healing will always take place. Hell, even when I'm talking to people, like I've been checking out different organizations lately to see if they were legit or what their authenticity, how authentic they were on a spiritual level, that type thing. I can talk to those people for 5 minutes and effect a major healing, because they know exactly if they're coming from a place of bullshit, I see right through it. Or if they're coming from a place of money, to make money, then I see through it, And a lot of times people want to get off the phone right away once they feel the vibe, that energy coming from me, like, wait a minute, brother, I might ask them some pointed questions. Okay. Maybe 2 or 3, and just by those questions, I know whether that person is authentic, whether they know where they're coming from, all right? Or whether then I find out where the organization or whatever, the shaman or the organization or the person, whether they're authentic or not, and they feel the energy, and they'll get an instant reflection. Let's put it that way. So there is power on being, over the phone. There's all kinds of energy exchanges and all kinds of things happening on that level. So don't think that if you call me that, hey, nothing's going to happen, man. It's just somebody talking to me or that type thing. No, trust me, it will be different. And you can book an appointment with me if you want to at Campfire Council, and that's Campfire-Council, not just Campfire Council. It's Campfire-Council.com, and I'll put a link down below, as always, so that you can hook up with me if you so desire. But we all need this right now, Everybody needs support. Everybody needs support, and everybody, there should be a sacred circle, a sacred campfire, all right? We can unify in, right? We should all be in unification now, not fragmentation. Not fragmentation. We don't want to be fragmented now, no. We want to be unified, solid, and grounded. Anyway, I think I've said enough. Just remember, I'm coming from a heart space, and I'm coming from an indigenous space, and I'm coming from a space of love. And authenticity, I might add. Authenticity, you're not going to find that everywhere. Very hard to find right now. So keep that in mind. Wopila, aho.